Cold in here, huh? It's late at night. I'm watching this movie, Les Vampires. It's a crazy silent movie from 1915. A gang of criminals are terrorizing Paris. They're called the Vampires. They're led by the Grand Vampire and this femme fatale, Irma Vep. Now, Les Vampires is fascinating, it's amazing, and it's also 7 hours long. So, yeah, so I fall asleep. Rule 1 of silent movies, drink coffee. Silent movies are like waking dreams. They're much less literal than talking pictures. They're fantasy, they're crazy. Alfred Hitchcock was the king of dark fantasy. His movies were like emotional roller coasters meant to mess with your head. The Lodger is the 4th Alfred Hitchcock movie, but it's the first real Hitchcock movie from the director of, the guy who made Psycho. So we're in London. There's a serial killer on the loose. Every Tuesday night, he murders a different blonde woman, and he leaves his calling card. He calls himself the Avenger. Meanwhile, this guy rents a room from the Bunting family. This guy is really creepy. He seems to be afraid of blonde women, and also, every Tuesday night, he sneaks out of the house. So Hitchcock's camera is amazing. He gives you this omnipotent point of view where you see from high above or way down below, and you can look up through the floor. But don't let Alfred Hitchcock fool you, because he's just messing with your head. Because the truth of The Lodger is totally not what you imagined. So rule number 2 of silent movies is good music. Many silent movies out there are packaged with good soundtracks, with good orchestration, but many more good movies are not. So, if you're watching an awesome silent movie and the score is crappy, just turn it off and pop in your headphones. For example, if you're watching The Lodger, I'd recommend Tom Waits. And if you're watching, if you're watching Buster Keaton, I'd recommend something fun like Chuck Berry. Now, Buster Keaton is amazing. I fell in love with Buster Keaton in a theater full of people with a gentleman improvising on an organ as we watched. It was amazing, and it was certainly the most authentic way to watch a silent comedy. When you think of silent movies, you think of broad physical comedy, but this guy was all about nuance. It was little stone-faced reactions to what's going on. Now, The General is a movie that's essentially 2 big chase scenes. His train is stolen, his true love is kidnapped, and the chase is on. Now, the camera work is fluid and alive. It sweeps along with the train, along the tracks. It's quite amazing. So, the 3rd rule of silent movies, get yourself a good copy. The problem is a lot of these movies are public domain, and there's really shitty copies available out there that you don't want to watch. You want to get as good a restored copy as you possibly can. Every movie I'm talking about tonight, there is a restored copy out there. You get what you pay for. My favorite restoration of all time is for this movie, Fritz Lang's Metropolis. In 2004, there was an awesome restoration done of the movie where it was completely cleaned up. However, 25 minutes of Metropolis are missing to this day. No one knows what happened to them. They were edited away over the years. Metropolis is this crazy bouillabaisse of a movie that has like 5 or 6 different genres all shaked up into one. See, this Blade Runner, you see elements of Blade Runner, you see elements of Star Wars, you see things that you'll later see in The Matrix. Plus there's this crazy gothic horror element. So you'll see stuff that'll later turn up in movies like Frankenstein. You see stuff from Lon Chaney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. Plus there's this crazy like biblical epic element to it. I don't know why, but it works. So, I said before, 25 minutes of Metropolis is missing. Well, this summer, a gentleman in Argentina remembered, our museum's copy of Metropolis is a lot longer than I thought it would be. It turns out some dude in South America had a full-length copy of the director's cut of Metropolis. I can't wait to see it. I'm like, this guy, ah! Oh my God, it's going to be so cool. Well, I fell asleep, I woke up, and I felt on my couch like I'd lived through 30 years of silent cinema, watching Les Vampires, craziness in my head. Well, I looked over at my clock, and you know what? I had only been asleep for 5 minutes. Imagine that. Well, thank you. My name is James Cook. Have a good night.